Hello friends. Friends, in today's video, I will be providing you the summary of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We have gone through all the shloks of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and I am using this video as an opportunity to just revise the deep insights that Sri Krishna has shared with Arjun in this chapter. So let me begin with summarizing the chapter. So the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita actually starts with the emphasis on disciplining the mind. And the very first important message that Sri Krishna has to say in this chapter is with regards to the mind itself, wherein he says that the mind can be our biggest friend or it can be our biggest enemy. It is a very efficient tool, and just like any tool which has its positive aspect and also its negative aspect, similarly the mind can have also its positive aspects and its negative aspects. While if we do not really control our mind, then our mind can distract us and make us more and more stuck in this world by engaging in the activities such as the consumption of things or the fear of the other things. So we can get stuck in our experiences that we experience in our daily life, and that way we can create more bad habits or bad sanskars inside us. Or we can use our mind as a good instrument also, wherein we discipline it and we use it as a way to really look at our true nature in itself, wherein we discipline our mind and then we focus only on our inner nature with this mind. So the mind can be our enemy or it can be our friend. If used wisely, it becomes our friend and we can use it to really look at our true nature. But if we are not really careful, then our mind can take us in the wrong direction, wherein we can get stuck in this world itself. So that is the first message that Sri Krishna had to say. After that, he tells Arjun that how Arjun can discipline his mind and bring the mind under control. What he says is that you should sit in a clean place which is solitary and meditate on the teachings of Sri Krishna over there. If you will meditate on that, you will focus on the tip of your nose, you'll focus on your breathing. That way you can bring your mind under control, and you can then meditate on the teachings of Sri Krishna, wherein how he has described the truth about this creation. So by bringing your mind under control and focusing it on the teachings of Sri Krishna, a person can then attain freedom from the bondage in this universe and can gain the right perspective in terms of how you should look at this universe. After that, Shri Krishna also tells Arjun that in order to bring your mind under control, you need to practice moderation. You should not eat too much or eat very little. You should not sleep too much or sleep very little, and you should not really focus too much or too much on anything or focus too little on anything. So you should always stay in the moderation, not too much of asceticism, not too less of asceticism, not too much focus on eating, not too less focus on eating. Uh, so that kind of a moderation is what is needed if you want to attain yoga. The extremes are bad. The middle is where yoga actually lies. Then Shri Krishna also mentions that the sign of a yogi is a person who always stays calm and composed and who does not really deviate from the path of yoga when he experiences ups and downs of his life. So he also mentions that the person who shouts a lot about God is not a person who is actually a yogi because he's shouting a lot. The yogi actually is the one who is calm and composed all the time and who always stays situated in that calm and composed state of mind. Then Sri Krishna also talks about how a yogi sees the divine being present in all beings, and all beings to be present in divine, which basically means that the yogi sees the divine everywhere. And so when he sees the divine everywhere, he becomes calm in itself, because all the aspects that he sees in this universe, all the behaviors that he sees in this universe, he sees them as an expression of the divinity. And so he then transcends this attachment and aversion sort of a tendency wherein a person gets attracted towards what is pleasurable, and he gets distracted, or you can say deviated or repulsed from something which is not pleasurable. So a yogi does not do that. He sees divinity in all beings and at all times, and so he sees all beings to be present in the divine, and the divine to be present in all beings. So that is how he describes a yogi. After this description, then Arjun asks Sri Krishna that what happens to a person who tries to attain yoga but he is unsuccessful in attaining it, and dies. So what does he attain after that, is what Arjun is asking. And his question over here is basically because he is concerned that just like material wealth, when a person attains material wealth in his life, he loses all of that when he dies. Similarly, if a person attains spiritual wealth, what happens to that spiritual wealth? Does it also get lost as a person dies, or is that something which stays with him? And so in that regard, then Sri Krishna tells Arjun that he should not worry about losing the spiritual wealth that one person gains in this life. He says that whatever work is done in terms of attaining yoga is never really lost. A person takes it with him, and in the next life he basically is born in a situation wherein things are conducive for him to continue his journey of yoga, wherein he can either get born in a place of an illumined mind, or a person who or a person who is yogi. So he goes in that, and then he naturally gets attracted to yoga, and he continues his journey towards attaining yoga. Shri Krishna then ends the sixth chapter by telling Arjun that the yogi is the one who is the highest. He is higher than a tapasvi or an ascetic. He is higher than a wise. He is higher than a doer or a worker. And he says that you should strive to become a yogi. Amongst the yogi, the highest is the one who is always attached with Shri Krishna or with the divinity, and through that he gets access to his inner divinity and becomes one with that. And that is the ultimate aim of our life, which is to attain that divinity and become divine by yourselves also. So that was the complete message which was presented in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I hope that I have explained this chapter well to you. With that, I will close this video. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.